Hi there, this is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about Mitochondrial Primer 4, the role of CoQ10. Many of you have heard about CoQ10 and know how valuable it is, and you know that it's in every cell in your body in your mitochondria. And your mitochondria are your energy factories that actually account for about 10% of your body weight. Our retina has about 7,000 mitochondria, they're the champions. Our heart and brain cells probably in the range of 5,000, kidneys like 2,000. And CoQ10 plays a particularly important role. And that role is it passes electrons along the electron transport chain between proteins. Now, electrons are tricky. They aren't always what you think they are. They sometimes act like a wave and sometimes like a particle. And proteins have a hard trouble with that. There's this thing called the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. You can't measure an electron because the energy of measuring it makes it possibly switch. And that means they escape and get away from the proteins. So 2% of electrons get away. And they're very destructive when they get away because they have so much energy in them, they can disrupt many of the chemicals in your body. And that's a problem when you're making energy, and that damages your mitochondria. As we age, your mitochondria lose efficiency at approximately 1% per year of your age. So by the time you're 90% of your mitochondria are damaged. Now your heart and brain need those mitochondria. And for whatever reason, we curiously make less and less CoQ10. So how important is it to replace it? Well, there's a couple interesting studies. For example, a Mortensen study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology showed that when you take 100 milligrams of CoQ10 3 times a day, you have a reduction in mortality of almost 42%. That's huge. The question is, do you need the expensive CoQ10, the ubiquinol, or can you take the cheapy ubiquinone? Well, the manufacturer of the ubiquinol wants you to pay more, and they have a study of 7 people in which ejection fraction went from 22% to 39%. Now, your ejection fraction is the percent of your heart that empties out when it beats. A healthy young person has an ejection fraction of about 65%. That's magnificent. You can't pump out everything, but you can pump out 65%. Supreme athletes are a little higher. Once you've had a heart attack, 50% isn't uncommon. And you can live with that. In fact, you get along pretty well. 40% is getting to be limited. 30%, you're in trouble. But by the time you get down to 20%, you're thinking about a heart transplant, and you really can't walk across the room. In my own family's experience, my father was down to 22%, and I gave him CoQ10 when I learned about it almost 10 years ago, just at the beginning of when this knowledge first came out. And instead of living the 3 months that he was predicted to live by his cardiologist, we got 5 more Christmases out of him. So what will work for me? Heck, I'm giving CoQ10 to everybody. I'm measuring it and I'm getting blood levels. You probably want a blood level to be effective of around 2.5. Ask your doctor to measure it for you. An awful lot of 50-year-olds have CoQ10 levels of 0.7, 0.9, or you might just try the experiment. Take 100 milligrams 3 times a day. See if you don't feel better. This is Dr. John Whitcomb talking about the role of CoQ10 in mitochondria. Talk to you next week.